Hello everyone. In this video we are going to download and install Visual Studio 2022 in a Windows operating system. Here are the website links that you can download the required softwares from. The first URL is for .NET SDK. If you don't have a Visual Studio subscription, you can use the second link to download Visual Studio. The third link here is for individuals who already have a Visual Studio subscription or wants to pay for a Visual Studio subscription. You can download the Visual Studio IDE from using the third link. Now let's move on to the installation steps. The first step that we are going to complete is to download the .NET SDK and Visual Studio IDE. The second step is to install the .NET SDK and Visual Studio. The last step is to verify .NET version and then finally launch Visual Studio. So let's go ahead and get started. The first thing you want to do is go ahead and pull up the link, the first link. Right here. You can go ahead and download the latest .NET SDK version. As of today, the latest version is 7.0. So if I click on the 64-bit, you notice that the download process started. And then while the first software is being downloaded, we can go ahead and open up the second link here, which is the non-subscription version or access. On this website, you notice that there's three different types of Visual Studio IDE that you can download from. There's a community version. The community version is actually free, so you don't have to pay for this. This is ideal for students, open source contributors, and individuals. The second version here is called the professional version. So this is actually ideal for a small team. The caveat with this though that you have to pay for this. I know Microsoft do offer a free trial. After the trial period expire, you're gonna have to pay for it. The last one here is Enterprise. The Enterprise version is actually very scalable and is actually meant for teams of any size. Once again, similar to the professional version, it's a paid version. You still have to pay for it. Another way you can get Visual Studio is to subscribe to Visual Studio subscription. The link is right here. If you access this link for the first time, it may ask you to create an account and pay for it. So you may not get this directly. Since I already have an account, it takes me directly to my dashboard. So once you create an account, once you have a subscription, you can now go to the download section of the website and search for the software. I'm going to locate Visual Studio Enterprise 2022. So this is the version that I'm going to install on my computer. This is the version that I want. You can go ahead and download it. And the download process just finished. All right, so we're going to go ahead and click on Visual. Now we're going to go ahead and click on .NET SDK. So we're going to go ahead and install it. Click on Install. It should take a few minutes for the install to complete. Okay, the installation was successful. You can tell that the following product was installed: the .NET SDK, the .NET Runtime, ASP.NET Core Runtime, .NET Windows Desktop Runtime was installed. The next step is for us to install Visual Studio IDE that we just downloaded. The next step is for us to install Visual Studio IDE. So let's go ahead and double click on this. And then click on Continue. At this point, you're going to have the different workloads. These are, you can think about this as the different packages that's going to get installed with Visual Studio. So we want to select this because eventually we want to be able to create web applications. We want to be able to create applications for cloud, for Azure, Node.js, Python, .NET desktop applications. We're going to create some of those ones. We want to be able to work with data storage and processing. We want to do some data science, create some data science applications, and also some Office and SharePoint development. And this should be enough. Okay, this should capture all that we need. And now once we've selected this, we click on select on install while downloading. So this will make sure that while it's downloading, the installation will be running in the background. And then click install. And it should take a few minutes for this to finish. We will pick this back up once this install completes. Right, so Visual Studio just finished installing. It automatically launches the application. So this is the IDE. Once the IDE finished setting up, so you should have Visual Studio 2022 opened, and you can click on continue with that code, and that should launch the IDE. At this point, you can go ahead and click on File. You can click on Project. This allows you to pick from built-in templates. Before we do this, we want to confirm the .NET SDK version that we installed. To do that, so we're going to launch open command prompt. Type in .NET -- version. And this is the version that we installed, version 7.0. You can also type in .NET help. This will display the different SDK commands that you can use with the .NET command. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and close this. All right, so we're going to try to navigate here and look at the different project type you can create using Visual Studio. You can pick the C# language, and in the all project types, you can pick the type of project that you want to create. In future lessons or future tutorials, we will cover some of these project types. For example, the web API. We can pick console application. In some cases, we may want to create a Windows form or desktop application. We will cover that also. All right, so this is the end of the tutorial. Thank you for watching. Remember to subscribe to this channel in order to get notified when new videos are uploaded.